Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NewsForce Live. I am your host, Zach Fuller, and joining me today, my very special guest, it is Councilwoman Karen Fosnaugh from the Marion City Council. Karen, how are you doing today, and are you enjoying the wonderful weather that we're having?
Yes, I'm thanking God every minute it's not raining.
Right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do here in our community? Like, I know that we've got third generations, we've got there's so many different things that you've got your hand in right now.
Well, I had 45 years in nursing, retired 2 years ago. So I practiced in Marion and in Columbus, and for a few years in South Carolina. And since I've retired, this came on. It was shortly after I retired, I was approached, an opening came on in city council, and I was contacted and asked if I would consider that. Took me a little bit of time, batting back and forth, pros and cons, talked with people, and then I decided to jump in. So that's how I got here.
I think I muted myself there.
Okay.
Awesome. So Karen, I really appreciate you coming on the show today to talk a little bit about some of the different things that we've got going on in our community. You are what was it, the fifth ward?
Fifth ward.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was fifth ward.
Fifth ward. Mm-hmm.
I think we've got what, 7 wards total here in Marion?
We have 6.
6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting there.
That's okay. That's okay.
So Karen, you talked about your nursing and your family business and stuff like that. What intrigued you to kind of leap into the politics and into city council?
Well, probably intrigue is not the right word. I don't think. I was probably shying away from politics because of, you look at federal politics and the way it's going, and it's so negative. People have lost trust in the government. They've lost trust in their politicians, and for rightful reasons. So it was not an avenue I wanted to take, because coming from nursing, your patients trust you. They trust you to do the right thing, make the right decisions. So when I was approached for this, and I thought about the negatives, and I thought, well, here's my chance to give a positive approach. Here's my chance to try to bring back some honesty and some integrity and some trust that maybe the people will trust again. It's a start. Things don't happen overnight, but it's my chance to maybe do my part. And so that's why I'm here.
Awesome. So we're going to take a quick break. Thanks to some of our sponsors that are coming on to help advertise on our show. But when we come back, we're going to talk to Ms. Fosnaugh a little bit more about some of the concerns in Marion and what it takes, and kind of get her take on council's piqued interest and things that are happening in the auditor's office. Don't go anywhere. This is NewsForce Live. We'll be right back.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Tri-Rivers for Adult Education in Marion is now enrolling for welding, fabrication, and allied processes. Welders are needed in almost every industry. A steady hand and attention to detail could land you a great career in an industry that's heating up in the job market. Tri-Rivers 5-month, 650-hour welding class starts early August and runs through January 2022. Visit tririvers.com. Financial aid is available.
Good.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy.
We just found it. Our back and forth.
Look, Daddy.
Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
You made time.
That was perfect.
Okay, here we go, throw it.
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me.
Nice.
But I heard every word.
All right, folks, welcome back to NewsForce Live. I'm your host, Zach Fuller, and we are joined today by Karen Fosnaugh. She is the city council representative for the, again, I forgot all about it. It's the fifth ward, correct? Fifth ward.
Uh-huh, fifth.
There we go. There's so many different wards in here. There's 6 total in Marion. So, you know, I've got so many different councilmen and councilwomen that are coming to, going to be coming on the show over the next month or two, and we're really excited about that. So Karen, tell me a little bit more. We've come to realize that there's a lot of concerns here in Marion. One of them being, you know, we've got the flooding issues that have been going on, and the fighting and arguing and pointing fingers and everything else within our city government. What are some of the growing concerns that you see in Marion? And then we'll kind of go into that second part of the question here momentarily, but can you kind of give me that idea of some of the things that you see as a growing concern for us here in Marion?
Probably at this present time, the big concern is the sewers, the flooding because of all the rain we've had, vacant houses, junkyards in the back of homes. People seem to have lost pride in their property. The city's not working together. I have been on council for about 9 months, and Zoom obviously doesn't help matters any. But during that 9-month period, I don't feel like we've been productive at all with anything to move forward with issues that the city needs done. We're no closer to bringing down some of these vacant homes. There's a lot of them that need to come down several hundred. All you have to do is walk the streets, and I don't care what block you're on, you're going to find one.
Right.
That's a big issue. That's probably at the top of my list, are the vacant homes, the ones sitting that are fire hazards. They're open for people to go in and get injured. They're an eyesore. They bring down the value of the properties and the rest of the neighborhood. People have had to sit and look at these half-built homes because tops are burnt off. And this is what they look at from sitting on their front porch. And I have a gentleman oh gosh, isn't that awful? I can't think of the name of the street, but runs parallel with Wilson, George Street, I think. But anyhow, he's looked at this home for 3 years. And why is that home still standing there? There's a backlog somewhere in the system that's preventing us from moving along to foreclose on these homes to take care of them, either sell them if they can be reconditioned or to take them down. Someone knows why there's a backlog, but we're not talking. There's no dialogue right now. They have been spending the last 4 months attacking the auditor, which you said we'll go into later, but they've been wasting time attacking him when we should be doing dialogue for these things that need done in the city. The flooding, people, would you want waste? Would you want sewage waste in your house coming up in your basement on multiple occasions? A gentleman has, for 40 years, he's gone to city council because of flooding and sewage coming up in basements. This is on Blaine. He gets eye rolls. I've noticed eye rolls when he talks. He comes up to council and he's still beating it down, saying, listen to me. And I see eye rolls because they're tired of hearing him because he's the only one speaking. And that's where it came in with, I want people to show up.
Right.
I want people to bring their issues to council, be out there and voice your concerns and say your complaints. It's a health hazard.
Yeah.
You get sewage backed up, bacteria, black mold. People have respiratory issues. How many people can't get to their basement and see that they've got a problem? It needs to be professionally cleaned when the sewage backs up. 40 years? I mean, is this a third world country we're living in? So where's the city's liability here? I met with Mr. Bischoff yesterday, spent a couple hours with him. He went through the plan for the new sewers and what they're working on. There's several phases. The first phase is almost completed. It's the biggest phase. And it's due, the new part of the sewer treatment plant is due to open the end of September. Hopefully that will help a little bit. There's other phases to come, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So in the meantime, we need to address these people with sewage in their basement. Right. Until this gets done, let's address these individual problems and see what we can do to help these people that are suffering. Not everybody is suffering in town from this, but the ones who are, it still affects everyone. No one wants to live in that home. They try to sell it. It's going to bring down the neighborhoods there. People here, it's a Central Ohio issue. It's happening. Columbus is dealing with it. Bexley's dealing with it. It's right. Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to the whole, you had pointed on the blatant and empty houses. What's going to happen when, we've got these sewer issues that are coming up, with the flooding and everything else in the basements, and, somebody's going to end up having to move out of there.
Exactly.
Well, if they're going to move out of there or out of that residency, you think somebody else is going to want to move in to that residency and say, hey, I'll take care of this,
No.
when it's already been happening for 40 years, or, it could, for all we know, it could have been even longer, so what's to say that house, we'll use, a Columbia Street floods very, quite a bit,
Yeah.
when we get that significant rainfall. So what's to say that that house that on Columbia Street has that water come up and that sewage come up in their basement, and finally that homeowner says, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Are they going to be able to find somebody to take on that responsibility? Probably not.
Probably not. And they move away and the house sits.
Yeah.
Yep. The
And
house
then
sits
back
and rots.
to a blatant abandoned house that
Exactly.
is eventually going to have to be foreclosed on and torn down or whatever the case may be. But these are the issues that, you know, we kind of want to bring to city council, because if we don't take care of the issues now, then our kids and our grandkids are going to have to deal with that down the road.
And they are.
Yeah.
Because this gentleman's been coming for 40 years. So he's got kids and grandkids, you
Right.
know? So
Right.
it frustrates me. You know, don't roll your eyes at this gentleman. He's been fighting and yeah, maybe you think he's a little too passionate about it, but it seems to me he's got a reason to be passionate about it. How many people in his neighborhood has he had to try to work with to help out with this? Different solutions to try to prevent this from happening. He's got an ordinance he's written up. I'm going to be contacting him. I want to see his ordinance. I want to see if it's something that the city can do, work with, amend it to make it work for us, make it cost effective for homeowners to do some fixes to keep that, because there are some fixes they can do to help keep that sewage from coming back into their house.
Yeah.
But it's not cheap. Some of it's not cheap. Some of it is, some of it's not. They need to know what those fixes are, and they need to know if we can give them help to get that done. And that's something city council can work on. Let's do a plan. Let's do something to help these people. Let's talk about that, not talk about something that is out of our control, you know?
Right. All right. So we could go on this topic for hours if we need to, but we're kind of getting off of our whole timeline here. But when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what Karen has to say about the piqued interest in the auditor's office, and maybe even get into you know, what can city council do to help fix the issues that we currently have in the Marion community. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thanks.
Patriotism. There's a word thrown around a lot. It inspires passionate debate and is worn like a badge of honor, and with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. For a word designed to unite, it can also be pretty divisive. You see, there's more to patriotism than flag sequin onesies and rodeos and quadruple cheeseburgers. Patriotism is love for a country, not just pride in it. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's more than just a huge rock full of animals like cougars and eagles, right? It's the people. Do me a favor. Close your eyes for a second. I want to try something out. Picture the average U.S. citizen. Think about it. How old are they? What's their hair like? How much can they bench? You got one? Okay. So chances are, the person you're picturing right now looks a little different to the real average American. There are 319 million U.S. citizens. 51% are female. So first off, the average American is a woman. Cool, huh? Is that what you pictured? 54 million are Latino, 40 million senior citizens, 27 million are disabled, 18 million are Asian. That's more people in the U.S. than play football and baseball combined. 9 million are lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, more than the entire amount of people that live in the state of Virginia. Around 10 million are redhead, 5.1 million play ultimate frisbee, and 3.5 million are Muslim. Triple the number of people currently serving in the United States military. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi, and transgender, and Native American, and proud of it. We know that labels don't devalue us, they help define us, keeping us dialed into our cultures and our beliefs and who we are as Americans. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? I mean, it's stitched into the stars and stripes of this country. From the Constitution to Gettysburg, to our motto, E pluribus unum, from many, one. It's even in our country's name, the United States. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? So let's try this one more time. Close your eyes. Picture the average Joe or Joan or Juan or Jean-Luc. The real people who make America, America. And this year, whenever you feel the urge to don those star-spangled shorts, set off fireworks the size of my biceps to show love for our country, remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
The Industrial Maintenance Training Program at Tri-Rivers Career Center in Marion provides the necessary skills to perform industrial maintenance tasks in today's manufacturing. Our professional instructors give you hands-on training in each of our classes, including basic electricity and electronics, electrical and mechanical troubleshooting, hydraulics, welding, and an introduction to PLCs and robotics. Now enrolling. Classes start in August. Visit tririvers.com.
All right, guys, welcome back to NewsForce Live. I am Zach Fuller, joined by the wonderful Karen Fosnaugh. She is the 5th Ward Councilwoman representing the Marion City Council. So, Karen, I did kind of want to get your take on City Council's piqued interest, as you would say, in the auditor's office. You know, what's your take on that? Because we've been dealing with this now for going on 4 months when it comes to this IRS, miscommunication thing. What's your take on council's peak interest here?
And just so you're aware, Zach, it's strictly my take.
Yep.
I have no proof of anything. But the fact is, the auditor is our conservative voice on 3rd floor at City Hall. He is the only conservative department voice on 3rd floor at City Hall. He is the watchdog. Without him there, we have a complete run of liberal in every department through City Council. They have majority to overrun the city with whatever they want to do, and no one has any oversight or look at it. Now that the auditor is elected by the people to do that, and I really believe the people elected him for that purpose, to oversee our books, oversee what's happening at City Hall. I think it might scare him a little bit. They don't have free reign. There's always someone watching to make sure things are on the up and up, things are done the way they are. Now, as far as the attacks on his office, if they make him look weak, then they can say, see, he's not, what he says isn't on the up and up because of this, and this. Kind of like, it's not really a joke, but it kind of is. It's like the same thing they did to Trump for years. And I know I'm a Trump fan, sorry. Everyone knows that knows me. But anyhow, it was the constant digs. I call it the shift show. I call this the little shift show. And people on council are continuously, let's do a committee, let's investigate this, let's investigate this. I asked at council meeting on Monday night, how much money have we lost? What are we down because of all this? And at this point, nothing. And until there is, we've got investigative committees and we're spending city money to investigate all this stuff. So we've lost money, but it's due to the committees and the council, the things that they've done. They've wasted 4 months that we could have maybe been looking at some of these issues in the city and trying to fix some of these things for the residents. But instead, they've tied us all up with all this stuff attacking the auditor for their own political partisan things. That's my take on it.
All right.
I feel like it's been a lot of wasted time.
A lot of wasted time. All right. So we're going to go back now to some of the issues that we've kind of had. We've had this issue with the rainfall now, and we're talking about the sewage problems and the several issues with flooding throughout the city of Marion. What do you think Marion City Council could do to fix this issue? I know you said that you've talked to somebody about the new sewage plant possibly opening up at the end of September, you know, things like that. What do you think Marion City Council could do to help fix these problems? And how can the residents of Marion help City Council by doing this to help accomplish this for our communities?
One thing City Council could do to help it along is to quit spending money that doesn't need to be spent on things that aren't necessary, and let's put the money where it is necessary. So if the sewage needs more money to accomplish this for the sewage treatment or any of the projects around, I know that Mr. Bischoff they apply for the grants. They get low interest loans, and that's how they can do it. And they do it in phases. So they figured out a plan so that they can do that without doing too big of an adjustment. There's adjustment on your sewer bill every year or two. It's like a 5% increase. It goes up and it keeps to pay for all these adjustments that are being done. And then we need to talk about what residents are still affected. There's always going to be some flooding here and there until all this gets worked out. It's going to take time. It may not even happen in my lifetime, but it's a long process, and each neighborhood's going to get affected at different levels. And people have to understand that just because they're working 6 streets over doesn't mean it's not something that's going to affect your street. So they may be working over there, but it's going to help your street. They've got a plan for how it needs to work, and they'll be working on that. And it's hard for me to say be patient because they've been patient for 40 years, but a lot of its EPA issues have come up during that time, have caused plans to change. But council needs to get together and work with the people who are still affected with this sewage backup. That's my biggest complaint. I'm not as concerned, though it's not good. You know, want flooding from storm sewers, and you don't want the rainwater coming in, but that's a whole different issue than sewage backup. So if you've got water trickling across your basement, that's not an issue I'm concerned with right now. I'm concerned with people who have live sewage coming up, and council needs to sit down and find out what people are affected, and that's where the people need to come in. We need to know, are you a person that's affected by this? I've got a number here that I'll give out for people to call.
Okay.
If you get sewage back up in your basement, you need to call this number, because at the treatment plant, they keep track of all that. And then they know what areas are affected the worst. And so they can go out and test, is it an individual problem with your home? Maybe it's something you can do to individually fix it, and it's not a systemic thing. Or is it an area that's been hit harder and they need to address that area right now?
Right. All right. So I know something that we kind of wanted to make sure we pointed out is, you know, getting people to show up for city council meetings. Can you tell us a little bit, and I know it kind of goes off of our timeline here. Tell us a little bit about, when does city council meet? Where are they meeting? Because I know we're no longer on Zoom anymore, you know, and then kind of give us a, because we're going to wrap things up. Let us get contact info for you. So if anybody in the 5th Ward or anybody throughout the city wants somebody to kind of speak up for them at city council, they can get a hold of you as well.
So yes, I want people to show up, but don't just show up just to, I don't know if I can say bitch, because say that on here, but don't show up just for that purpose. Have your information together. Document, bring us facts, bring us what's happening, and bring us the cost, what it's cost you for this stuff. But bring your issues to council, bring your concerns of what you want to see us help you with. And if we can, that's what we need to work on. Maybe it's just a direction we need to point you in. Maybe it's something quick that we can fix. Maybe it's sending somebody out to test something at your house. Who knows what could be, lots of different issues, but people need to show up. Don't wait until the flood's going down the street. And then I know you get busy with work and you get busy with your family, but if there's an issue ongoing, show up and let us know. We can't read your minds, and we get a call at 10 o'clock at night because you're freaking out because things are happening. That's not the time we can help you out. We can help you out when you come to us and tell us what the issues are. And then we're all hearing it. Everyone at council is hearing the same story. I can take the issues in that I hear from the residents, but if we hear it from you, it means more. If you took the time to come up and stand before everyone, or have someone stand for you, but you're there, that means a lot more.
Right. So how can they get a hold of you if they have any concerns? And please remember, guys, be respectful for Karen. You know, don't be calling at no midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. But how can they contact you as their city council rep?
Well, I'm actually going to give them my email.
Okay.
And with my email, you leave me your contact information, and then I will contact you.
Okay.
So my email is ksfosnaugh1@gmail.com.
Okay. So we'll actually put that up on the screen right now. So if anybody wants to get that information, it's right here on the screen for you. Make sure you jot it down. Make sure you write it down. Go back and rewatch the video again. You can definitely get that information. And of course, it's not going to be one of those, oh, it's just going to get lost in email. You know, no, I've come to realize that Karen is actually a very nice person, and she will contact you back.
I will.
I also know that you have a Facebook page as well. Is that correct?
I have a Facebook page that's Keep Karen Fosnaugh 5th Ward City Council. So you can find me on Facebook.
Awesome. And they can leave messages there for you as well. And you're really good about getting back at a timely manner too. So guys, I really appreciate you guys joining us today. Karen, I really, really hope that you're taking that stand in city council, and we appreciate it as well. Thank you for joining me today for NewsForce Live. Guys, if you do have any issues when it comes to flooding, if you have any issues such as backup sewage coming in your basement, make sure you let somebody know about that, because these are the issues that Marion City Council and the city of Marion want to know about. With that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you next week when we have another special guest live right here on Facebook.
Thank you.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.